Welcome to the WACO Experience, an American story.
We, the people.
With your host, D. Scott Smith.
In order to form a more perfect union.
Interviews with leaders in business, government, and nonprofit organizations.
Promote the general welfare.
Jobs, products and services, and infrastructure for strong communities.
Secure the blessings of liberty.
The WACO Experience is an American story, a story of communities across America. It is your story.
D. Scott here. These past 3 months have flown by since first launching the WACO Experience, an American story. Like all programs, you have a concept. Arrange interviews, record and edit those conversations, then produce the final episode. Somewhere along the way, a story begins to unfold. It's kind of an organic process. In this episode, we'll look back on the conversations from the hot doggers who came into town, the chief of police, the employees at Biddy and Bo's Coffee, and many other voices in the community. It is important to note that this radio show and podcast is brought to you by sponsors. You can always learn more about this program and the sponsors, including links directly to their websites. Go to thewacoexperience.com. Right there on the front page, you can read about the Independent Planner, which is a notebook-style planner designed for entrepreneurs by an entrepreneur. It is a supplement to your digital calendar. This planner has some unique features. It's more than just a paper copy of your digital daily to-do list. It guides you in crafting your long-term vision for your business and life, then prompts you to set goals to fulfill the vision, and a daily goal tracker to keep you moving forward. If you go to the website, independent-planner.com, you'll find an AI-powered tool, which is free to use to create your own vision goals and plan to be successful. Remember, all the links to our sponsors are at thewacoexperience.com, including Friends for Life, which is a wonderful organization. You can listen to an interview with the founder and executive director, Inez Russell, in episode 2. Friends for Life has been providing services and systems for seniors and those with disabilities for over 35 years. The work Friends for Life does protects those vulnerable citizens in our community. Things like adult daycare, guardianships, money management, life skills, and much more. Friends for Life is a 501c3 charity that was founded here in Waco, Texas, with a goal to improve the quality of life for seniors and people with disabilities, particularly those who are without family to care for them. Listen to Inez in episode 2 and visit their website at friendsforlife.org. And let's hear from Inez herself.
Okay, well, we are a nonprofit that serves seniors and people with disabilities, and we're basically trying to make sure they live the very best lives they can live and that they're as independent as they can safely be. We've discovered that there are a lot of different areas that we need to help that can empower them to be more independent and to have great lives. We serve as legal guardian to people who aren't able to make decisions for themselves and don't have family to do that for them. And we just signed a contract to expand our area, so we'll be in over 80 counties now. We have a money management program where we're paying bills for people that aren't able to do that for themselves. And now we also have programs that help people live independently, where we do minor household repairs, we take people to the doctor, we deliver food to people that aren't able to go grocery shopping for themselves or maybe can't afford groceries. We're helping them access the benefits of the food bank without being, when they're not able to drive there themselves. We have a telephone reassurance program where we call and check on people and make sure that they're doing okay. And I think that's critically important because it builds bridges between us and them, and it gives them somebody they can call. We also operate an adult daycare center where we take care of people during the day who can't stay home alone. So we have another program where we go into nursing homes and we teach people who have developmental or intellectual disabilities how to be as independent as they can be, and some of those folks have moved out of the nursing home and back into the community, and that's an awesome thing to see, especially when you're looking at someone who might be in their early 20s and could spend 60 years or more in a nursing home. About $28 billion were stolen last year from seniors through all kinds of fraud, but 90% of it was family. The people that Friends for Life serves are usually people who don't have any family, or the families have either hurt them or taken advantage of them.
Another sponsor of the Waco Experience is Biddy & Bo's Coffee. They are at 110 Franklin here in Waco. They bill themselves as a human rights movement disguised as a coffee shop. Yes, they have wonderful hot and cold drinks, and they cater. Make sure and listen to episode 3, where I had an excellent time talking with a few of the employees. Biddy & Bo's provides jobs for people with developmental disabilities. I enjoy speaking with the staff every time I drop in. They also have a conference room that you can reserve for an event at no cost. So let's hear from a couple of those employees.
My name is Jimmy Marino, and I'm one of the shift supervisors.
My name is Hannah Noble.
I'm Sylvan Cochran, and I work at Biddy & Bo's in Waco, Texas.
My name is Chandler Hooper.
And I am Blake Highland, Hyland. I suffered from a severe traumatic brain injury in 2014, which changed my whole world. And before that, though, I was a magician, and I also did balloon animals.
Yes, the human rights movement disguised as a coffee shop.
So 80% of people with disabilities don't have a job, or it's hard to find a job for them. So basically, Biddy & Bo's provides that for them. It's just a fun place to be at. The people with disabilities, they're normal people. They're fun to hang out with. I love hanging out with them. There's no place I'd rather be.
You can see a theme we have building here at the Waco Experience in American Story: economic development and caring for the vulnerable. Another sponsor is the weekly video podcast, Aspects of Aging with Christine A. Smith. These are unscripted conversations with experts who provide products, services, and perspectives about aging. As my mother said, aging is not for sissies. Each Monday, noon central at agingbetternetwork.com, Christine brings in experts to talk about aging, caregiving, dementia, and many more topics. The best part, they have solutions. I encourage you to visit agingbetternetwork.com and watch or listen to the over 100 episodes. We also have a lot of fun here at the Waco Experience. I have a soft spot for entrepreneurs and those involved in starting businesses. I would take my kids to the pitch nights or startup weekend because I wanted to teach them to make a job and not take a job. Travis Perry, inventor of Cord Buddy, is my Shark Tank hero. I watched him land a deal with Robert Herjavec in season 3 at a time when I was leading a startup business myself. I had gone into the offices of somebody, and somebody whose lobby was gorgeous and bigger than my whole house. I was there to ask for an $800,000 investment. The side door of the conference room opened up. They called me in. This was my chance. There were over 60 angel investors in the room. It was standing room only. I walked in. They said, "There's the screen. Here's the clicker. You've got 10 minutes. Stand and deliver." And there was Travis Perry in the Shark Tank at about the same time pitching for an investment in his guitar learning system. Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, had his doubts about the product. Travis insisted it was the world's best way to learn guitar. As a guitar player himself, Kevin considered Cord Buddy a cheat until he saw the demonstration of how the product works. It's like training wheels for a bicycle. When you place the Cord Buddy on a guitar, there are buttons that allow you to play basic chords. Then, as you learn how to strum and your fingers get stronger, you remove the tabs with the buttons. In 3 months, you're playing without assistance. You can learn more about this guitar learning system at cordbuddy.com. Economic development and providing protection and opportunities for our vulnerable citizens. These are a few of the stories we've told since the program launched in October of 2024. Our first episode was recorded at Fuzz Lab, which is in downtown Waco on Austin Avenue. Ashley and Alpha Newberry launched that business venture in early 2024. So let's listen to a bit of their story.
We're a DIY craft studio at heart, and we offer 3 different types of workshops. Our primary bread and butter is our rug tufting, so hence the Fuzz Lab. Rug tufting is a fiber art form. We both have science backgrounds. I'm also Air Force reservist. This is very outside of both of our comfort zones. However, something that we pride ourselves in is being able to create systems and to fill a need that we see. We, as in Temple, Waco, Belton, Killeen, this whole area needs something like this. And we started talking about it. That was October of 23. By December, we had worked out a deal with them and found this location in Waco. We knew we wanted to be downtown. And by mid-March of this year, we opened. Yeah, so we're located on Austin Avenue, and that is like 2 streets over from Magnolia, maybe 2 or 3 streets over. When we started thinking about where we wanted to be, we spoke with our realtor, and using our Baylor University knowledge back 10 years ago, we thought, okay, we can either be amongst locals and locals alone, or we can be in downtown where it's growing and we get a good mix of locals and visitors. We chose this location so that we could serve both visitors and the local community. We knew people would find us online first and then come, but then once they're done or while they're working, if they want to break and want to go to Union Hall or somewhere for lunch, everything's walking distance. There's no paid parking here. It's convenient for our guests to come, enjoy, and be relaxed. The whole 9 yards. So that's kind of how we chose the location.
Prosper Waco is a nonprofit organization in town with a focus on ensuring all members of the Waco community are able to improve their education, health, and financial security. I attended the Prosper Waco Summit and met many community leaders in business, government, and nonprofit groups. We heard from many of these leaders, including Mayor Holmes and U.S. Representative Pete Sessions. One of the takeaways from the summit was the 2024 Waco Snapshot Report. The 50-page report provides data and statistics on a wide variety of areas, including population and demographics, income and poverty, education, housing, health, and labor and economic development. As we delved into the report, we found the greater Waco area is doing well. However, when we look at the breakdown of populations, demographics, and neighborhoods, not everyone is benefiting, such as East Waco. Let's listen to a few of the conversations from the summit, starting with Prosper Waco CEO Jessica Addis.
To really listen to community leaders, know where the interests are, to look at the data with Dr. Rhodes of where our challenges are, and then use that to bring in meaningful data to the community was, we've seen the economic growth in the community. I come from the chamber world, and so I look at the number of jobs being created. I look at capital investment and all this economic growth, and really, the increase in median wage. And when you look at it disaggregated, you see that not everyone in our community is enjoying those benefits in the same kind of way. And I think that causes us to ask ourselves why. And when we ask ourselves why, then you've got to start really looking at the next piece is to identify the strategies to work to work on those gaps. So it is startling, but one thing that's really special about Waco, and we are a community that we care about each other and we love this place. There's a sense of community.
Okay, my name is Desiree Salazar and I'm with Methodist Children's Home. Really just excited to meet a lot of different stakeholders within our community, see some of the challenges. That's what I'm expecting to hear, and just kind of how we all work together to resolve some of those.
And I'm here with Carlton Willis. And tell me about Mission Waco.
We're a faith-based nonprofit organization serving the McLennan County community. We offer social services. We have a homeless shelter, and we also provide programs for children and youth. We've partnered with Prosper Waco on numerous occasions, and so just come to learn what others are doing and some ideas of what we can do to make this community better.
My name is Alfred Solano, and I work with Waco Family Medicine Foundation. I think the education, which was the last session, really brought home the fact that we had such a great need for the collaborative work that's being done, serving our youth in a way that is imperative, and also the skills gap for teachers. I think the teacher pipeline that some of our institutions are maximizing is going to put us ahead of where we are today.
So I'm Ashley Bean Thornton. I'm representing today Lakeshore Baptist Church. I was on a thing called the Poverty Solutions Steering Committee, which was kind of the little group. There were several groups at the time that were working together. There was a big education group that Virginia Dupuy was leading, and there was something in the health area. And all those groups kind of got together. Prosper Waco sort of grew out of that movement, I guess you would call it. It was kind of a movement in the city to think about, how can we make sure that all our residents, have what they need to have nice kind of, I don't know if I would go so far as flourishing. I guess that's the word I'm leaning toward, but at least kind of, prosperous, comfortable lives.
And let's listen to part of episode 6 with Pastor Eshawn Williams of Pleasant Olive Missionary Baptist Church in East Waco.
Pleasant Olive Missionary Baptist Church here in the Waco community. We've been a light shining in this dark world 139 years. We've been on this particular site here, 1600 East League Street, for the majority of those 139 years, and we've attempted to be just that, the Church of God. And one of the things that we're attempting to do even now is to not only grow individuals but impact families. I just believe that the church should be a community of believers, but also a community of family. That picture of support, love, compassion, togetherness, unity. There's been a breakdown. In the book of Deuteronomy chapter 6, they taught the biblical principles to their children. I think we need to get back, but I think we've gotten so busy and we're not allowing the main thing to be the main thing when it comes to the family. We have to assess the needs of the community. I often like to use this analogy. You got to scratch where it itch. And I believe we have work to do because the community is constantly changing. I have a vision to not only develop an outdoor pavilion for us to come together as a family, a church, and have events outdoors. Across the street, my vision for the church down the road is to develop senior living for our elderly members where they can live here on the property. We can set it up where they will be treated and cared for any physical needs. We can have transportation throughout the week, taking them to their appointments, this, that, and the other. And I've always attempted to create ministries to meet the needs of every season of a lifespan. And so I believe if you come to church, if you're 2 years old or if you're 92 years old, I'm thankful. Pleasant Olive is a blessed church. We have a rich history of longevity with membership. We have a host of octogenarians and nonagenarians. We'll be setting up a health ministry where in May, dealing with mental illness, and then, of course, October, breast cancer, but we'll do some other things throughout the year for a health fair and things of that nature. So we have different ministries throughout the church. And then, of course, you can't come to a Baptist church without hearing some music. And so we also have a wonderful music ministry.
So how has Waco changed? I spoke with Officer Janae Draper and Detective Eric Hawkins of Waco Police in episode 5. and then Police Chief Cheryl Victorian in Episode 8. Let's hear what they have to say about Waco.
But yeah, I grew up in Waco. I graduated from China Spring. I went to Midway for a little bit, but I ultimately ended up graduating from China Spring. And I remember when growing up, the memory of Waco that I can remember was, you didn't go downtown after dark. It wasn't really a safe place to be. And my grandmother actually was a dispatcher for Waco as well, so she would also tell me stories of what's going on in Waco.
The neighborhood engagement team is a multi-pronged portion of the police department. People, I've done a few events here lately, and it's funny how people imagine the police in the traditional manner in which police go about doing their business. I think it's a thing that's sweeping across the country where police are having to deal with more complicated type issues and resolve problems that can't be just taken care of overnight. And I think that was pretty much the birth of the neighborhood engagement team. What we do is if there's a problem area, whether it be dealing with crime or mental health issues or traffic or whatever that area may be burdened with, we are a team that's put together to try to find the resources in order to correct or make that situation a lot more livable and sustainable for the people in that community.
We cover about 100 square miles for the city of Waco. We have 3 different districts with 15 beats in those districts, a population of about 143,000. Right now, crime is declining, and it has been declining for the past year and a half or so, and we're so fortunate for that. And I think that it's the holistic approach that we have taken to addressing crime in the city of Waco is the reason why we're seeing those numbers. We believe in relational policing, where we believe that transparency, respect, engagement, building emotional capital, and accountability are instrumental in building trust in our communities. And we use that at each and every level of our organization, whether it's support, investigations, or patrol, to build that trust and an engagement with the community.
I've met many people in the first 3 months of the WACO experience. It is an American story. As I've traveled around this country, I've witnessed communities addressing issues of economic development, housing, food insecurity, and a range of other pressing issues. One of my intentions with this program is to highlight those who choose to live a life that makes a difference, whether it's in their business, such as Ashley and Alpha at Fuzz Lab, or Bob Gager of Shepherd's Heart. I met Bob, CEO of Shepherd's Heart, when I went to see the famous Wienermobile from Oscar Mayer. The hot doggers, that's the drivers of this fiberglass hot dog on a bun, were parked in front of Shepherd's Heart Retail's thrift store, Things from the Heart. Shepherd's Heart is addressing food insecurity for our citizens. Bob told me that the store provides enough income to pay all salaries for the staff of Shepherd's Heart. So when you donate, the funds go to help those in need. Let's hear what Bob has to say.
We deliver groceries to 1,400 people. Most of them are older than 65. They have disabilities or something. They can't get to us, okay? And nobody can get to them unless we deliver it to them. So we've got 1,400 people that we deliver groceries to twice a month. We have pantries in 5 local schools. 90% of the children that are in Waco ISD are from families that are at or below the poverty line. And so there's a need to keep those kids fed. And my attitude is that if I can give them some food so that they can get fresh, healthy snack food between classes, maybe we can keep them awake in class so they can get an education and get out of poverty.
At an event presented by the Waco Chamber of Commerce, I met Kevin Repa of the Space Alliance Technology Outreach Program, SATOP. They are funded by the state of Texas to provide free technical assistance to small businesses, startups, and entrepreneurs here in Texas. His full interview can be heard in episode 11. But let's hear directly from Kevin.
The favorite one is an infant transporter. When you have these premature babies, their brains are very sensitive to vibrations, very much monitored in terms of the environment they're in. But if they have to get transported, whether it's by helicopter or an ambulance, they're in an environment that can be very vibration high, I'll say. So bumpy roads, helicopter vibrations. And so what Texas Children's Hospital worked with NASA to come up with an idea how to dampen the vibrations in this transporter. And so they use the technology that they have on the treadmill on the space station to reduce the vibrations on space station. Well, they use that same dampening technology in the transporter, so that makes the baby's movements much safer by reducing the vibration. So that's been one of my favorite ones that we worked on in the past.
In episode 14, I spoke with University High School forensic science teacher Matt Menifee, founder of Comic Fest Waco. This event is more than just comic books. There is significant academic research showing graphic novels help students improve literacy. And literacy is the reason why Matt and the other team members are putting together Comic Fest Waco. Let's hear what Matt has to say about literacy.
This is a teacher, is one of our better English teachers in the district. We started having a conversation one day about comic books and about graphic novels, and he was like, yeah, when I was about 5th, 6th grade, I got given a stack of X-Men comic books. He's like, I was a terrible reader, and now I'm an English teacher. I'm not saying we need to turn every student into an English teacher. I mean, it'd be kind of cool, but I'd prefer more scientists myself. But we can get every kid up to a level that if they wanted to, they could. Mm-hmm. I don't want their lack of literacy being the thing that stops them from being able to move forward and make the difference and the impact they want to out there.
Another guest was Matt Metters, president and CEO of the Greater Waco Chamber of Commerce. So let's listen to his vision for the community.
I think that Waco is going to continue to transform. We're just beginning to see what the Waco of the future is going to look like. I will tell you, I'm so excited about Waco and McLennan County and where this community is going. We've come a long way in 10 years. There are people who, 10 years ago would not have imagined and would not recognize our community. And I think that growth is going to continue. I think we're going to continue to get great employers here and great people here and have individuals step in and assume leadership positions. And I think we're going to continue to see an evolution of Waco as it continues to mature. It's a very diversified and dynamic economy, and it's only going to get better.
I've enjoyed meeting so many remarkable people here in the greater Waco community in Central Texas. The basis of the Waco Experience, an American story, is to have conversations with leaders in business, government, and nonprofit groups. I've been involved with chambers of commerce for decades. When writing the strategic plan for the Chamber of Commerce in Corvallis, Oregon, I made a discovery. The Chamber of Commerce is the one place in the universe where business, government, and nonprofits all sit at the same table with different tools and the same goal: build a strong community. I trust these stories are bringing encouragement, whether you live here in Central Texas or in other communities across the country. Our towns and cities in America have similar challenges to create economic growth, provide housing, access to food, and to live the American dream. This dream will be fulfilled by all of us working together to build that strong community. We can look to our national motto, E pluribus unum, out of many, one.
The Waco Experience, an American story, is a production of D. Scott Smith Company, all rights reserved. Thank you for listening.